Afternoon and welcome everyone to the special meeting of the Glenorchy City Council on Monday the 23rd of June 2025. My name is Sue Hickey. I'm the Mayor of Glenorchy City and Chairperson of this afternoon's meeting. We acknowledge the Muwinina people as the traditional owners of this land. We recognise the Tasmanian Aboriginal people as the original owners and continuing custodians of the land, sky, country and waters of this island for Tarouta. We pay our respect to Aboriginal elders, past and present. We commit to working in a way that welcomes and respects all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. Joining me here in Council Chambers is Alderman Russell Yaxley, our Deputy Mayor, Alderman Justin Stringer, Alderman Peter Riddler, Alderman Tim Marks, Alderman Shane Cockshut, Alderman Shane Alderton, and Alderman Josh Cockshut, Alderman Stuart Slade and Alderman Stephen King, and not on my list is the fabulous Councillor Kendall. Thank you, Molly.
Last but not least.
Yes. And also we have our CEO, Tony McMullen, our acting CEO, Emilio Reali, and Tracy Ehrlich, Director, Community and Corporate Services. Before we open our agenda, I take this opportunity to make a statement about workplace health and safety. The Glenorchy City Council takes workplace health and safety seriously, and this includes physical and psychological safety. We have a duty to ensure that a safe workplace is provided for our employees, elected members, contractors, volunteers and members of the public who may be present at Council's workplaces. Council meetings form part of Council's workplace and it is expected that everyone who attends Council meetings will behave in a polite and respectful manner. Council has an endorsed statement of intent setting out how we, as elected members, have agreed to conduct ourselves in representing the people of Glenorchy. In accordance with this, any disagreement should be expressed respectfully, remembering both during debate and in decision making that we are elected to represent and serve the people of Glenorchy and to make our city the best it can be. Finally, I note this meeting is being live streamed and an audio-visual recording of the meeting will occur in accordance with Council's recording of Council meetings policy. Members of the public are not permitted to make audio or visual recordings of Council meetings. We have 6 items on our agenda this afternoon and agenda item 1 is apologies. So before I just move on to apologies, I do have a few notes from the Chair. The pool, I am thrilled and relieved to finally announce that the contract for the repair of the pool has been finalised. Hutchison's Builders will undertake the works commencing in August and finishing by mid-2006. Information on the scope of work can be found on our website. The YMCA update. We have recently received an update on the Glenorchy YMCA. The $6 million upgrade of the multi-facility at Constant Avenue is due for completion very soon and will be completed within budget. The newly furbished facility will house programs and services for all ages, abilities and backgrounds with a focus on being fully inclusive, compassionate and approachable. And whilst not a council project, we along with many other interested residents are pleased to finally hear of the progress made on this important sport, health and wellness piece of infrastructure, which will once again be available to members of our community. Windermere Skate Park. This Wednesday we will officially open the new Windermere Skate Park and Pump Track. If you haven't been there, please come along and have a look. This wonderful new facility is located close to the Claremont CBD, the cycleway and public transport. It is also next to existing recreation area which features new public toilets, barbecue facilities, picnic tables and bench seats for families to watch their children play. This replaces the ageing and out-of-date skate park at Abbotsfield Park that was no longer fit for purpose. The Abbotsfield site will be maintained for sport and recreation. The Moona Streetscapes improvement as one of the priority projects identified in the Greater Glenorchy Plan. We have started planning improvements to the streetscape of Moona Road, Main Road Moona, basically consultation as we work with a local urban design firm, Inspiring Place, to engage with Moona traders about their hopes and aspirations for the area. And now, item 1, apologies, I note we have none. Item 2, pecuniary interest. Does anyone have a pecuniary interest? No. Item 3 is public question time. The council meeting is a formal meeting of the elected members elected by the Glenorchy community. It is chaired by the Mayor. Public question time is important in a formal meeting for the public to ask questions of the elected representatives about matters that affect ratepayers and citizens. We don't have anyone in the gallery tonight, so it's going to be quite easy, I think, and it doesn't look like I need to convey the rules around public question time. Now we move on to item 4, which is the 25-26 budget estimates. And before we start, I think we have a word from our CEO.
Thank you, Mayor. The purpose of this particular report, agenda item 4, is to recommend to Council that it adopt the 2025-26 budget estimates, the long-term financial management plan 2025-26 to 2034-35, and the rates and charges for 2025-26. The focus for the 2025-26 budget is to continue to sustainably grow the investment in services that underpin the objectives in our 2023-32 strategic plan, and particularly the actions in Council's 2025-26 to 2028-29 annual plan. Annual plan. Now Council is on a path to financial sustainability. The 25-26 budget concentrates on Council's priority actions for 25-26, which in summary are Glenorchy pool repairs, clean city initiatives, roads, parks and recreation, youth engagement, community safety and maintenance improvements. The key outcomes of the proposed 2025-26 operating budget estimates are an operating surplus of $871,000, operating revenue of $83.093 million, operating expenditure of $82.222 million, capital expenditure of $31.869 million, an average cash cover of 4.7 months, and no new borrowings and planned repayment of our existing debt during the course of the year. In terms of our capital works program, there will be a separate item addressing the capital works program, but Council has planned expenditure of $31.869 million for 25-26, including a budget of $8.339 million for major projects, with the major projects being the repair and reopening of the Glenorchy War Memorial Pool and the Humphreys Rivulet restoration. The focus of the capital works program is asset renewal works, such as road resurfacing, footpath replacement and playground renewal. Importantly, Council is fully funding renewal in roads, footpaths, stormwater and property assets to ensure that the level of service provided to the community is maintained. The budget also proposes a 4.9% general rate revenue increase, lower than last year's 5.95% general rate revenue increase. A 5% increase in the curbside waste management charge was adopted by Council on the 26th of May this year. Mayor, I might just quickly mention another matter, which is that we've been advised by the State Grants Commission today of some changes in the timing of the payment of the financial assistance grants for 2025-26. Previously, we had been advised that there would be a 95% prepayment of the financial assistance grants in 2025. In this financial year, in 2024-25. We've just received advice that the federal government has decided to reduce this prepayment to 50%. But at this stage, the State Grants Commission advises that the Commission is still awaiting advice from the Australian Government on the final allocation estimates, and the Commission is not able at this stage to provide recommendations on financial assistance grant payments to the Tasmanian Treasurer. So whilst we are generally aware that there is a change in the financial assistance grant payments that would potentially affect our budget, we're not in a position to make changes to the budget as drafted. What I can say is that from what we understand, the quantum of those changes or the direction of those changes is likely to be in a positive, well, essentially will mean more revenue in the forthcoming 25-26 financial year and slightly less revenue in the current 2024-25 financial year. So, in other words, our financial results in the current 24-25 financial year will be lower than what we were anticipating, but still we're anticipating a positive outcome. And secondly, there will be a boost, although of an amount that we're not yet clear, to the 2025-26 budget. The way we propose to address this is to deal with it by way of the mid-year budget review.
Okay, thank you. Well, there are 11 recommendations in the recommendation. Who'd like to move? Thank you very much, Alderman Cockshott. Would you like to make some commentary on it? Oh, I think I do next.
Yeah, here you go, Min.
Thank you, Alderman King.
Thank you, Mayor. Today it's great to share with you the key highlights from our 2025-26 budget and Capital Works program, a budget that makes a real turning point for Glenorchy. This year we're proud to announce that we delivered an estimated surplus of $871,000, although subject to change, as we just mentioned. After years of focused effort, we're now back in the black and on a sustainable financial path. And with this solid foundation, we're making some bold investments to make a better Glenorchy. Some highlights include, first and foremost, we're back in surplus. This is more than just a number. It's a signal of financial health and responsibility, and it puts us in a strong position to invest wisely in things that matter. We're delivering a $31.9 million capital works program with a strong focus on upgrading and renewing the infrastructure that supports everyday life in the city. At the heart of the program is the Glenorchy War Memorial Pool, which has been a hotly debated topic over the last couple of years, and committing $6.5 million to bring this much-loved facility back to life for our families and future generations. We've continuing work with stakeholders such as the federal and state counterparts in government, ensuring we're keeping pitching for $84 million to get a brand new facility. We've kept the rate increase to 4.95, which is lower than last year, and equates us in $2 per week of an increase. Importantly, we'll finish off paying off our last loan in December, which means the council will now be debt-free, something very few councils can say. We're backing our young people planning underway for a Glenorchy Youth Hub and continued delivery of programs that provide opportunity, inclusion and support. Road and footpath renewals are a key focus, resurfacing 7 kilometres of road and replacing 4 kilometres of footpath and improving safety and accessibility right across the city. With more frequent severe weather, we're stepping up flood mitigation efforts. Projects like Redlands Drive and Little John Creek will reduce risk and build resilience. We're also modernising. This includes $2.8 million to upgrade our vehicle fleet and heavy equipment, shifting from leasing to ownership, a more efficient and long-term approach. And perhaps most importantly, the budget reflects the voice of our community, with over 220 residents who've contributed through our Future Direction survey, community pop-ups and budget briefings. You've told us what matters and we've listened. And as always, we do encourage the community to participate in all surveys, community pop-ups when we do ask for feedback, because your feedback is important to the council, and that's what we listen to make these decisions around the budget table. This budget that balances responsibility with ambition, it's about delivering the basics well while laying the groundwork for a better, brighter and stronger Glenorchy.
Thank you. Alderman King.
Well, firstly, well done, Alderman Cockshott. That was very succinctly put, very well put. I don't think we're going to be here for a 7-hour discussion somehow. Firstly, I agree with everything that Alderman Cockshott said, but would like to thank the CEO on his last budget and all the staff for informing and enlightening us about this budget prior to tonight. Even though we hadn't made a decision till tonight, last week we had open a week before Open Council workshop. We've been updated throughout the year with numerous workshops around the budget. We've had chances to discuss where we want to take this city. Been here a long time. This is the best I've seen it, and we are in a strong position. We should be grateful for that. Our goal is to continue to improve the well-being of the City of Glenorchy. So thank you, CEO and staff, for all you've done and all you're yet to do.
Thank you. Thank you, Alderman Alderson.
Thank you, Mayor. I would just like to echo on my colleagues' comments and just remind the community we started out here on a 3-year plan to deliver a budget that would provide services, provide projects and keep this city up and running. So this is the second year and we should be proud that we've delivered the promise no greater than 4.95% rate rise. We're working on year 3 to even going lower. If we don't have any unforeseen circumstances, we're looking forward to hopefully delivering a 3.95% rate increase next year, and I'll be holding myself and my colleagues to that and the council, I can assure you. So I think this is a success story that needs to be celebrated. We made a promise over 3 years we would do this, and we're into year 2 and we're still on track.
Thank you.
This year 3? Yeah, this is year 3.
Anyone else like to make a comment? Thank you, Deputy.
Thank you, Mayor, through you. Firstly, I guess with the annual plan, obviously we've had, looking back over our past annual plan, I just wanted to acknowledge Councillor Harry Quick and Alderman Jen Dunsford, who passed away over the past 12 months. Their contributions and their passion for their community and city will always be remembered, and I think of them both often. So today we present a budget which I'm extremely proud of. I'd like to see a little bit more ambition in some spaces and some braver goals, but I appreciate that we can't do everything. As much as everything we'd like to do, we don't necessarily we can't fulfil every dream and every possibility that is required. That's what the budgets are for. So after many years of deficits, we're on track to have our operating surplus, which is really, really pleasing, and something that I know from the start of our term, it was really important that we had that happen, and it's great that that has now happened. But I guess to be in a positive operating surplus doesn't happen by chance or good luck. It happens by commitment, by brave decisions and future thinking. And I guess we need to look back to fully understand and appreciate what we actually have in our hands here today. I think back to times where Mayor Johnson and the elected members made some really unpopular decisions, a 12.5% rate increase, not popular at all, but a strong and bold decision, which was certainly painful at the time, absolutely, no question about it, but it was a forward-focused thought, it was a future-focused decision. I think back to Mayor Thomas. Around the table, we made a bold decision about a rate increase of 8.95 at the beginning of our term. And again, it was a bold decision. It was certainly not popular, but again, it was important that we put our community first and that we were future focused for our city to be in a better financial position, to have the improved facilities, to have the improved parks and playgrounds, to have the better roads and footpaths. And this is all because we're now fully funding our capital budgets, which is something that I'm really proud that we have actually got that in place. So you fast forward to today and we're all recipients around the table presenting a budget that has a surplus. But in that same breath, we too around the table have made bold decisions, future-focused decisions for our communities to be better after our term or after this term has come to an end. So thank you, Mayor Johnson, Mayor Thomas, and obviously Mayor Hickey, and every single elected member over this time that has brought us to this position of being in an operating surplus. I'm really proud to be part of it. I'm proud to see the Youth Hub action and investment happening. I've certainly been a long-term advocate for this, so it's great to hear. I'd like to see part of our programs us valuing the youth leaders in our community and in our schools, and perhaps see them in some sort of youth council, which we've had discussions about. So seeing high schools and colleges, empowering them, hearing their voice about what matters for them in the council, because they are the community and the leaders of the future. I'm also looking forward to seeing the rejuvenation of the Moona area. The area up there is certainly tired, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. Perhaps not this 12 months, but hopefully in the years to come. So it's a proud budget, but it's certainly not a time to take the foot off the pedal. We must continue to be consistent, be motivated, and continue to see a positive, financially smart future. So I'll be supporting the recommendations.
Thank you. Anyone else like to make a comment? Thank you, Alderman Slade.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Look, I won't talk too much about the figures. They've been very well highlighted by the Deputy Mayor and Alderman Cockshutt. I think it's important that when we talk about annual budgets, that we actually inform people how we go about it. So I have a benchmark process which I go through and give it a bit of a tick. I think if we do that, it's not a bad way of going. And realistically, the budget this year serves as a financial roadmap. That's the way I like to look at it. Guiding spending decisions, setting priorities, and ensuring accountability and delivery of the services that we provide to not just our ratepayers, but the greater community of Glenorchy. Essentially, they translate strategic goals into concrete financial plans for the year. And how do I benchmark that? I look at resource allocation. And to me, in particular this year, the budget dictates very clearly the allocation of monies to different areas and programs. And that reflects, I think, very much the direction which we want to go as a council with our priorities. Service delivery ensures that funding is available for essential services, in particular like infrastructure and all the other additional things we want to do, if extra we want to do in relation to our parks, extra we want to do in keeping the city nice and clean, public safety, and of course other community development programs. Financial accountability, well, where would we be without that? It provides a framework for tracking revenue and expenses, ensuring transparency and accountability for people who come along here to our council meeting or look at it and read it on the screen. And at that stage there, I'd like to thank the General Manager and all the senior staff and the people involved, in particular CFO, in the budgetary process and everybody else below that as well. It is a mighty effort. We are really like the Board of Directors. We take very much your advice and we mesh through that to get to that good financial accountability outcome. I'd like to thank you for that. And I think it also shows a lot of growth and collegiality around the council as elected members. That we have healthy discussions of where money should go, why it should go there, and the purpose behind that. And at the end of the day, we have a strategic plan. We must not lose track of that, and that gets a bit pulled out occasionally, and it may not be the greatest reading at times, but it's a truthful reading for where we want to go as a council. And if you balance that up between the resources, where we want to go, and the money we're spending, that should balance there as well. And public engagement, we don't always have people come along to events like tonight or the one that we had last week, but we should always have the opportunity and benchmark ourselves, whether it be those or whether it be the little settings we have in shopping centres or whatever, where people have the opportunity to question us, ask us our priorities, and we're on track, and hope that we can give a proper response to that. Of course, legal compliance is very important, and the General Manager certainly leads, also say the CEO, leads us on that, and it makes me feel comfortable as an elected member to know that what we're doing, that we're being very responsible, and good governance is shining as a result of his recommendations and the recommendations of our other staff. Performance measurement now will be in place if this goes through tonight, and which, I said, our community can judge us by. And I think it's really important then that you just check that on a monthly basis or quarterly basis when the reports come around. And again, transparent. You can't be more transparent in the processes that we go through. This has been a lot of meetings involved this time around for to come to tonight's outcome. And it's that meeting, I think, nurturing ideas, proposals, budget bids, shows the maturity of this council and how we are going in such a way now to reduce loans and have surpluses, be responsible, but at the end of the day also able to deliver good programs and not have monstrous rate increases, because we are adhering to a great plan that's been working well the last couple of years. economic impact. I'm a great believer, Mayor and fellow Alderman, that we do this properly, things will grow. And the result of putting things in place and programs, a bold city, a place that people want to come and, it's a banal term, but to work, play and do other things here as well. That brings people to come in. And by doing that, of course, we are then funding projects and allowing other operations to happen in the city that brings wealth to the city and also brings gleam to the city as being a great place to live. I support it on those grounds, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Thank you, councillor Kendall.
Thank you. I'd love to say a few words, and I feel like I'd love the management to be able to stand up and talk about the items in this budget as well, because it's just as much a testament to them as it is to us around the table. And I know that your visionary ideas and leadership within the council has really driven forward some of the fantastic things in this budget. So sending my thanks. Some of the big hitting items that I'm really happy to see in there, as other people have mentioned, the pool, Humphreys Rivulet, movement towards the youth hub, are all really important and exciting dollars to see in the budget. The International Food Garden hasn't gotten a mention. I'm really happy to see that in there. And everyone, when they're looking at this budget, will have a different thing that will make them happy. If you're a parent, there's lots of playgrounds. If you've got limited mobility, there's lots of road renewals in store. My husband, who rides a motorcycle, very happy to see Albert Road is in there for replenishment. I tried to take that one personally, but it didn't fly. I didn't get any credit for that. So what I'm especially happy to see is the investment in wages that we have in this budget, and I'm so happy with the council being named as the employer of choice, and us seeing us make really visionary moves like going to buy our plant and really own that within the council rather than leasing. It just makes us a more stable, positive employer, and builds the local economy and makes people want to work here. We are a big part of the economy in our local government area, so I'm just really happy with where the council's at. So it's a privilege to be sitting around the table at this time. It was too small to actually get a mention, personal shout out in terms of the words, but along the lines of employment, the Sustainability and Climate Resilience Officer, I'd like to thank all of the community that submitted comments into that when we asked the community what they want us to spend our money on. A lot of people said environment and sustainability, and so that's really been reflected through the employment of that officer. And thank my fellow elected members in supporting me on that budget bid. And I think it will have a huge impact in the community, even though it's a tiny little drop in a very big budget. So yeah, very happy today and happy to pass this budget.
Any further comment? No? I'd too like to say that I'm very proud to be here with my elected members and the executive team and all of the staff for that matter, because I think we have gone through a period where we've had impressive discipline, we've been proactive. If one capital project is delayed for any reason, the next is lined up and ready to go straight through, so there's been no wastage factor. The council, I'm very proud to say, there's been united. We haven't had any ridiculous political play trying at the last minute to reduce an increase just to be popular. I think this is sensible financial management, and we understand the duties and obligations and expectations of us as a community. And if we don't keep a disciplined budget, we'll end up in the mess that some of the other councils have found themselves in, and one which we have escaped. We're very pleased with the result, and as I say, it's a credit to our team for taking us on this journey, and for our elected members for embracing all the work, all the meetings, and all the discipline we've had to do to make sure that everybody here was comfortable with the outcome. So I'm very happy with it too, and I'm going to go back to Alderman Cockshut to close debate.
Thanks, Mayor. Like I said, I agree with all my colleagues' comments around the table, and I think Alderman Slade, it's fantastic to see 10 people around the table working together as a team to achieve these outcomes, and fair from the staff, and hats off to the staff for having this. You know, they are the guys who are the engine room behind the organisation and keep the wheels turning. So hats off to everyone involved. So really good result, and this budget really sets us up for success longer term. So looking forward to the future.
Thank you. So with that, I'm going to ask for the vote. Raise your hands. And it is a unanimous decision. Thank you. Now we're moving on to item 5, which is the 25-26 Capital Works Program budget. And we have just 2 lines of endorsement here. Who would like to move this? Thank you, Alderman Marks. Second, please. I think I saw Alderman Alderton first. Alderman Marks, would you like to comment?
Yeah, just sort of say, Mayor, this has been really good set up with the budget. Everything seems to be going to be done good, and money's going to be spent where it needs to be spent. And it's something that I myself am happy to pass, and hopefully everybody else is.
Thank you. Alderman Alderton.
Thank you. Yeah, this is a very responsible item here. So we're spending our money broadly across a number of items. 14.7 million on transport, 2.6 million on stormwater, 3.2 million on property and environment, 8.3 million on major projects, 2.8 million on fleet and plant, and 0.3 million dollars on information and communication and technology. So it's a total capital budget of 31.9 million, and it's a good plan. It's a good spread of our revenue, and it should be a very responsible spending of the money. That's all I've got to say.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Thank you, Alderman Cockshott.
Thanks, Mayor. Look, I think we've all said it previously. There's lots of exciting projects in the Capital Works program. I think the biggest takeaway and what might get the most noise is obviously the 6.5 million for the Glenorchy War Memorial Pool. So I think the community's very happy to see the tender being announced and works on progress. So we're going to continue to work with stakeholders, like I said in my previous comments, but I think it's great to see the wheels starting to come for that one. So it's been a long time coming and lots of heated discussion, but yeah, I think that's great to see it in the budget.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Thank you, Alderman.
Mayor, look, I've said a lot of things beforehand in relation to current vote basis, but I've always had a philosophy on Capital Works in relation to people want everything straight away, or they haven't got time to see something, but I always sort of compare it to like an apple tree and just say, well, look, you know, it's strong base, we're really looking after it, whatever, and it's starting to flower. And what I really like to see us is really emphasise to everybody just how things are coming together now, how everything is really blooming. And thank you for your patience to the community, and thank you very much for the staff to be able to put that together so they can be the recipient of very much the outcome of just how we are sort of after a number of years coming together in Capital Works. And it's very rare do you go around the streets without seeing some council work happening, whether it be something small in relation to footpath, whether it be something big like Albert Road, the pool, whatever. But to me, again, it's just showing me that it is blooming, and I just want to be part of that. I want to be part of the deciding admin team to us together and do this on behalf of the City of Glenorchy, who are going to be very much very proud, I think, of the outcomes in the next couple of years, Mayor.
Thank you. Anyone else? Well, I'd just like to say, according to LinkedIn, I've been at the Glenorchy City Council for 4 years.
Yes.
And when I came, our Capital Works projects were not in an ideal state at all. In fact, there was years of catch-up required. And pretty soon, no credit to me, but certainly to the team, those projects just took off. There was a real discipline put around them. They were all tidied up, and they've all been delivered to be wonderful, successful things like the Chigwell Sports Oval, the KG5 works, the 10 playgrounds. I'm sure there's numerous other projects, but it's been a joy to watch as these Capital Works just suddenly sprung to life and have been delivered. So well done to everyone involved. With that, if there's no further discussion, I will put the matter to the vote. All those in favour? Thank you. It's carried unanimously. Item 6 is the Glenorchy City Council Annual Plan. And this one makes fascinating reading for anyone who would like to have a look at it. And we have copies online. And the recommendation is purely to adopt the council annual plan. Does anyone wish to move it? Thank you, Councillor Kendall, and thank you very much, Deputy. Councillor Kendall, would you like to start debate?
Yes, thank you, through you, Mayor. This is a fantastic document. Really encourage the community to check it out and have a read through. It's a super easy read, and it's very encouraging and informative in terms of what you should expect in this coming year. Yeah, wonderful actions in there. So I peaked early with my comments, so I'll open it for discussion.
Thank you. Alderman Slade?
Look, Mayor, sorry, I don't want to, it's a great plan, I love it, whatever. I didn't know when to say it, but I found mistakes.
Mistakes?
Yeah, and can I just pass them on to you, CEO? Doesn't change the terminologies, whatever, but just say for future documents and so on. Is that right?
Yep, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I support it, totally support it.
Yes, any further documentation or commentary on this? Yes, thank you, Alderman Cockshott.
Thanks, Mayor. Yeah, one thing I would say is when you have these kind of strategy and planning documents, sometimes they become a bit convoluted, lots of words, and hard to understand what people are trying to achieve in organisations. I think the team have done a really good job in terms of communication to communicate quite clearly what are the priorities for Glenorchy moving forward. So I just want to say thanks to the comms team from that perspective. It's quite concise and people know what we're working towards, what we're trying to achieve, and it's a good document to give the stakeholders so they know who, what, when, where, why. So I think it's really important to have that as part of it. So thanks to the team for making it easy to understand.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, very briefly, thank you, Mayor, through you, just to say that, you know, the objectives and the strategies in this document really do drive the actions that come from council. So they're really important in this part of the, you know, in terms of the annual plan. So they're particularly important to make sure we have them right and to be you know, robustly going through them to make sure that they really do reflect the community sentiment. So yeah, very excited about what's to come.
Thank you. Thank you, Alderman Wolston.
Thank you. Yes, no, it's a very good report, Mayor, and I would just like to acknowledge and thank our outgoing CEO, Tony, for his work and effort that was put into this annual plan. And I would like to acknowledge that Emilio, as the incoming CEO, must be extremely excited to be taking on and delivering this annual plan.
Yes, thank you. Yes, it's an important document which we can be held to account on. And we promise to be open and transparent with that. Any further commentary? If not, I'll go back to Councillor Kendall. You're happy to close? Okay. All those in favour, raise your hand. Thank you. Carried unanimously. And after all that backslapping and joyous commentary on what we think is a great result for the hard work and efforts of everyone involved, we hope you as the public agree, and we look forward to seeing you at our next council meeting. And with that, I'll close the meeting.